Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Round D, the final round here of Ski Jump Championship Top 16 competition. This is where it all gets decided as to who moves on to the top 8 competition. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, today we've got the 96 Pessima, the D-series, the K-series, and the SPR4. I have a feeling this competition is probably going to be one of the closest, and I truly think it is going to, if not parallel, then mirror, maybe for lack of a better word, the Group A competition that we had earlier. That competition had the T series, the 800 series, the Bullide, and the 88 Pessima. I think we are in for a treat today. Before I get too much further, here we go with the 96 Pessima. I want to send out a special thank you shout out to Ulrich Dorr, who is the guy who created the thumbnail that we are using, or I should say thumbnails, that we've been using for the top 16 competition. Thank you very much. They are very cool and I appreciate them. And we've got the 96 Pessima smacking the front quarter panel at 95 meters. So judging by the angle here, I got a bad feeling about the damage that is about to take place. Oh! Stay on your roof. I'll tell you what, though. Stay on the roof. A little bit more damage, but we crossed the finish line. That's actually one of the best things that can happen to one of these vehicles, is to flip upside down and finish the race out on their roof, because that's going to limit all of that ancillary damage down to a minimum. I mean, heck, we're looking at 20.6 deform and only a 363 in terms of brokenness. That gives the Pessima an overall first round of 70.770. It barely beats out its older brother, the 88. I say brother, the 88 Pessima. So far, oh, that's gonna leave a mark. Look at there, we're hanging. Whoa, hanging tough. All right, anyway, that was a bad one, I know. They're all bad, really. They are. All the singing I do, it's all bad. But I do it anyway, because I always have songs running in my head, and I enjoy sharing them with people who essentially don't have any choice but to listen. Oh, well, you have a choice. You always have a choice. You can just turn the whole thing off and pack up your toys and go home and call it good. I totally understand that and realize that most of you have probably already done so by now. We are looking at a 90 meter jump this time. Yep, what a bummer. And it's not going to end up on the roof. And so it ends up with more damage. So lower distance, more deform, more broken, more bad, worse. That puts the 96 Pessima with an overall score of 66,505. However, that still keeps the Pessima currently in the top 8, believe it or not. At this point, right now, both Pessimas are in the top 8. Wow. We'll see if that sticks based on what happens here. We are looking at the D-series. And as we have seen before, the D-series truck, phenomenal competitor. Well, I say that, I better go check. Well, phenomenal is probably not the right word. Okay, so, well, I tell you what, not bad though. The D-series ended up in 6th place in the preliminaries, and that's how it ended up here today. So we are cruising down the road in our D-series. Let's grab some air and see if we can't get this bad boy. Hey. Get that front end down. Get the front end down. Man, the back end fell. I tried to get that. I don't know why the front end wouldn't come back around. But that's a 105 for the D-Series. Let me check something real quick. And, well, last time on the first heat, the D-Series went 105 meters. So I guess it's consistent anyway. All right, so here we go. Let's see if we can keep the damage down to a minimum. Come on, come on. Slow your roll. That transition, man. The transition gets us all the time. All right, 22, not all the time, but most of the time. 22.25 deform, a 368. In terms of brokenness, that gives the D-Series a first round or a first heat score of 79.07 compared to the preliminary round. Let's see, that was 77.7. So it actually did better this time. So that's good. That's good news for the D-Series. Now let's see if it can improve and move up in the standings so that it can secure its place in the top 8. That would be awesome. Let's see what we get here. Come on. Ooh, I don't know. I don't think it took off with as much speed. There we go. Come on. Ooh, that's a... Oh, okay. Well, technically speaking, wow, that's a perfect... Well, that's pretty much a perfect landing as it kind of spreads across the two. I know some folks are going to argue this, but I'm going to give it 105. I'm going to call it 105 because, I mean, it landed sprawled straight across. So we're going to say that's 105 meters, a 23.41 deform, and a 407 broken. Unfortunately, landing the way it did, you know, here I was trying to keep it level or at least parallel to the landing strip, and actually the impact caused more damage than when it actually hit tail first. So overall, the D-Series ends up with a 78.295 average. That is not bad at all. As a matter of fact, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That puts it in 6th place, which is just where it was when it got here. So depending on what happens with the K-Series and the SPR 4, we might see the D-Series make it to the top 8. That'd be pretty cool. So let's check out the K-Series. K-Series. There it is. What? Where? Who? What you talking about, Willis? All right, here we go. We are going to... Now, in the preliminaries, the K-Series ended up in 4th place. So there's a pretty good chance that the K-Series is going to advance. I mean, I can't even imagine a scenario where it wouldn't, because, I mean, basically, as long as it lands and does its thing... Oh, crap. Wow. Well, busted tires stay on the course. All right, this is going to be a tough call. I got to figure out where that is. So what is that? That is 125. We're going to call that 125. I'm concerned right here. Oh, and it fell off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 125 meters. When it blew the tires, man, I could not get control of it. That's just the way it happens. 34, where am I? 34.95 deform, a 15.77 broken. Well, that sucks. That drops the K-Series all the way down to a first round of 74.280. Man, I hate that. I really do. I hate that for the vehicle. But that is the nature of what happens sometimes. That transition at the bottom of this ramp. We've seen it take out several of the vehicles, and that's not an operator thing. That's just what happens. Look at that. Oh, what the heck? Again. Crap. That is just not fair. Man. Oh well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is heartbreaking. It really makes me want to restart and try again. It really does. You know, man, that's wrestle. All right, 3597 damage on the deform and an 1891. Good gravy, broken. Man, that puts the K-series at a 9.7 average. I don't know, man. I don't know. Is that something? I mean, it broke the tires. It's just this is a man. It's killing me, and you know it's killing me. Oh, the internal struggle. Do I leave it alone? Do I let it run again? I don't know. I tell you what I do know, though, is we're going to run the SPR 4. No, not the Spider. That's a mod. The SPR 4. And I'm going to have a deep conversation with the judging committee and the commissioner of Ski Jump Championship Action and find out what they say. Yeah, I'm going to have a conversation with me, myself, and I. But, you know, there's 3 of us, and we can decide what we need to do about the K-series situation. I don't know, man. It just seems unfair. All right, so let's continue. Let's concentrate on the SPR4, who has decided that, you know what? I don't care what you're doing with the K-series. I am out of here. That is 200 meters and then the entire length of the ramp all the way down. I mean, basically, it's going to land at the transition. So that is a 200-meter jump. And then we cross the line. Oh, my gosh. That is freaking amazing, except 36.21 deform and a 14.64 on the brokenness. That pulls the SPR 4 down from 200 points from the distance all the way down to a 149.15 first heat score. That still puts the SPR 4 in terms of first rounds in a solid third place position. If the SPR 4 were to do nothing at this point, I could do an absolute, well, I couldn't do a 0 because there would be damage. But if, however, it had no damage plus a 0, it would still end up qualifying in the top 8. But, as we know, a 0 score does not mean 0 because damage will take it negative. I don't anticipate anything like that happening with the SPR 4. Frankly, I believe we're going to see something of a repeat performance. If I could just get the front end to stay... Oh, wow, look at you. Look at you, 200 meters, landing across the finish line. So that is 200 meters. Crossing the finish line with a 35.62. Less deformation, however, a little bit more, a 15.27, a little bit more in the brokenness. And overall ends up with a 2 heat average of 149.13. So that puts the SPR4 in second place, directly behind the T-Series. And again, just about 5 points separate the two vehicles. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Woo, that is so cool. Okay, K-Series. What am I going to do? I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to rerun the K-Series on a, what do I want to call that? A probationary. That's probably not the word I'm looking for. But essentially, I'm going to run the K-Series. If the same thing happens, we're going to call it busted, and we will keep the original score. All right. And I know that may not seem fair for some folks or to some folks, but no one else in the competition has had a 0 at all. And I just don't think it's fair when we know this vehicle is perfectly capable of doing better than a 0, and it's the whole tire thing. So we'll just see what happens here. It's sliding out. And okay, well, it cleared. We'll take it. I will take this as the kind of a redo for the K-Series. Did I have a redo in the preliminary for the K-Series? I think so. The K-Series is a pain in my butt. Wait a minute. What am I doing? No, I'm just kidding. All right. So 45 meters. See, you just don't know what goes on inside my head. Actually, yeah, you pretty much do, because what's going on in my head is what comes out of my mouth. That's... All right. So this time it ends up with a 19.59 deform and an 8.64 broken. I feel much better. It's not really going to change things, I don't think. But I feel better about the fact that we did give the car its due. And I'm just going to let it slam into the wall because it's been such a pain in my butt. Oh, look at you, barely. Clunk. Not even worth it. Oh. All right. So here we go. I'm going to rank all of these vehicles. Sort. Zoop. And, okay. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got your top 8 vehicles that will be moving on to the top 8 championship round. They will compete, and the top 4 of those vehicles will move on to the final championship round. Now, I have been doing each group as its own video, but I will not do that for the top 8. For the top 8, I will run all 8 vehicles in one video. I'll spare you the suspense and or pain, depending on how you look at it, of going through 2 of those videos. So I will combine those in one video. All right, here we go. The top 8 vehicles that will move on. The T-Series with a score of 154.44. The SPR4, 149.13. The ETK 800 series in third place, 115.410. Then we have the Bolide with an 85.51. The ETK I-series rolls in with an 84.915. That is the 5th place. In 6th place, ladies and gentlemen, the D-series. So once again, the D-series moved into the top 16 in 6th place and moves into the top 8 in 6th place with a score of 78.295. The 1988 Pessima is in 7th place with a 71.940, and the Covet finishes out the top 8 with a 68.925. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Look, we've had the preliminaries and we've had the top 16. We have a pretty good idea as to what's going to happen in the top 8. and probably the Final Four. But you just never know. And that's why we are going to finish out this competition, because I want to see who really is the ski jump champion of the default vehicles that come with BeamNG. Now, one of the other things that, look at that. If I didn't accelerate, I didn't touch the accelerator at all, and that crazy car actually did better, like way better. Wow. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. Ooh, do I need a free fall championship? I could do that as just one championship video, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I know you guys are probably getting sick of this. Anyway, anyhow, so I will do the top 8, and then those will get narrowed down to the top 4, and we will have a top 4 championship. I know I originally talked about doing a live stream for that, but that's not going to happen, unfortunately. So I've tried to play around with some live stream stuff, and it's just not gonna work. So anyway, we will have the top 8 coming up after this video, and then we will have the top 4 championship competition for BeamNG ski jump. I think I was going to say that I did have a suggestion to do mods. So what I may do is I may at the end of the top 4, maybe I'll do a poll, a survey, a questionnaire, whatever you want to call it, and ask you guys what vehicles you'd like to see compete for the mod challenge, and then do a modded version of the ski jump championship. And the modded version, I would probably end up just cutting up into a couple of videos. Maybe we'd have just a top 16, a top 8, top 4. Maybe do that. I don't know. Maybe we just do the 16 and see who wins. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We make it up as we go along. Of course we do. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button if you would. I think this is awesome. I'm loving the ski jump championship. I really am. This is cool. Some expected results, some unexpected results, some crazy twists in there. Anyway, I'm having fun with it. I hope you're having fun too. Got any questions, problems, suggestions, horror stories? Feel free to stick those in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time for the Ski Jump Championship Top 8 competition. Looks like he hit the tree, Jim.